All right, this week's episode, how do we connect with a client?
It's a whole story about how far you're willing to go
Okay.
to maintain a connection or get in contact with someone, because it seems like for most people it's too few tries.
For almost all, it is. So is our conversation today about different ways to connect, how often we should connect, maybe both?
It came from two things. I had an experience where someone called me and said, "You've been so persistent. I wanted to call you, and I want to come talk to you."
Okay.
So that, and then I go back to a story that I tell a lot about when someone gets rejected in their farm and they come back to us and they're very upset because someone told them to beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I say, "What are you sad about? You're finally making a presence in your farm, your felt.
Yeah.
Don't be sad. It's one person. Don't let them spoil your punch."
So the last time that happened to me in the geographic farm, they ended up calling up and sold their house, sold them another house, sold that house, and sold them another house.
Exactly. And that's the story I had.
Yeah.
It's like, "Get out of here. Nobody wants you. What are you doing putting all these papers in our yards?" And then the
Yep.
phone rings and it's that person saying, "You know what? I'm out. Come talk to me."
That was exactly it, and it's funny because I remember that vividly. Actually, I became friends with that couple, and I remember it vividly. The day he opened the door and said, "Don't bother me. Don't come back. I don't need any of your stuff. I don't want any of it." And it was just turned out to be a bad day.
That's generally what it is.
Yeah, he was having a bad day, and I happened to be in the right place, wrong place at that particular time, and I was the one that was I was the one that it got taken out on. But I didn't take it personally. It's not the first time it happened. It won't be the last time it happened, and moved on, and as we like to say, next, and we just go to the next door, and that's what it was about. But I remember when he called to come over and take a look at his home to put it on the market, and I was like taken back a little bit. Yeah, this is literally, are you calling the right guy?
Oh, just because of the call. I thought you meant by when you walked in the house or something.
No, I was like, are you sure I'm the one that, because...
Were you thinking, boy, he's going to open that door, there's going to be trouble when he recognizes who he's calling?
Yeah, he was pretty upset. So, but it turned out that there was something else going on there. But so how often until they say stop?
I think that's why I brought this topic up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think we all get flustered a little early.
Right.
And if someone doesn't return a call or doesn't respond to a text, specifically in a prospecting or marketing capacity,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get upset. And, we give up at the second, maybe third try. And I think it would behoove all of us to be like, no, let's just keep going. You don't want to go so far, but, give it a good 8 shots. And at that point, then just periodic contact.
And how do you define periodic contact?
You got to define that yourself.
Okay.
And what's going on, but more of a marketing angle than a prospecting, right?
Right.
Prospecting is, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of someone. Marketing is like, hey, I want to just keep in front of you.
Right. So, and I ask that because, if somebody reaches out and shows interest and then they disappear, which we see that a lot, where, hey, I'm thinking of doing something, then all of a sudden something happened to them. My God, it's like every day, every other day until, hey, something happened, we need time off. Okay, and then at that point, it becomes once a week that the communications continue to happen. And it's funny when I talk to people about that, they're all like, it feels like too much. I don't know. They don't have to answer you. You just want to make sure that they know that you're still there. It's not like I'm picking up the phone. Travis, call me back. You need to call me back. I've been calling you, you're ignoring me or anything like that. It's just, hey, I'm here and I'm ready when you're ready. And just checking in and making sure. And people don't realize that even if they don't open that email or even if they don't return that voicemail or return that text message, they've gotten it, they've acknowledged it, and it's gotten registered in their subconscious that, hey, you're still there. And, how many emails do we delete but we never unsubscribe from? More than we think.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's emails that I'm getting on a daily basis that I've been getting for years, and I don't unsubscribe. Why? Because at some point,
Every once in a while, you want to open it.
right, and
Like, okay, I'll take these.
exactly, or that headline comes up of, that's what I was waiting for, and boom, you open it, and next thing you know, you just got sold on something. So, right place, right time.
Yeah. And I think that's it. It's just, we just don't want to feel that resistance or to be told no. And so we're like, well, what am I going to do? I know I should be in contact with this person. And they go sell their home with someone else. And
Right.
then you're like, wow,
Yeah,
don't let that happen.
that hurts. And you said something interesting. We don't want them to say no. I want them to say no. I want them to say, I don't want your emails anymore. I don't want your phone calls anymore. I don't want, because then I know we're done, right? And in some cases we're not done, but then we know and we have a definitive and we can move on to the next or spend our time elsewhere with people that do want to work with us. But so many people are afraid of that no. Like, you're looking for the no. And it's only an issue because it's my only possible transaction I have. And I think that's where it really comes from, is that scarcity.
Yeah, I think if you have the mindset of, boy, the amount of no's, no thank you, please stops that you get is so minuscule to the amount of business you're going to lose from not pushing it to the no's.
Yep, exactly.
Maybe I just reworded what you said.
It's all good. So let's talk about different ways to stay in communication with people. What are some of the ways that you would recommend somebody stay in touch with somebody as far as being and trying to be present to them?
I think always.
Yep.
And it just depends, You should have certain things that are going out in a mailer. You should have text things or direct message. I generally categorize them by the veracity of the moment,
Okay.
Is it a birthday?
Right,
Is
right.
it an anniversary? Is it general information just to stay in contact?
Mhm.
So I want a direct mail or text
Okay.
if it's some life event for someone.
Right, right.
I want a mailer or an email if it's, hey, this might be of use to you. And really, behind the scenes, I'm just saying, hey, I want to keep in touch with you.
Right,
type
right.
of thing.
And we had this conversation when we were talking to a couple agents yesterday about this, and my thought process is meet them where they want to be met. So if they're heavy in the text message, you want to make sure that that's part of your. So often we come from a place of, this is how I communicate, so that's how I'm going to communicate to them, and really where we should be coming from a place of is their preference of how they would like to be communicated, and that's what we should be doing. When I go home and I speak and have a conversation with my wife, it's a lot easier if I communicate in a method she likes. I get a lot further, so it goes way better. So I think too often we forget about that, and we're beating a dead horse a lot of times because we're not really paying attention to what they need.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think about it now. When I get a lead, someone shows interest, I do, run the wheel of how to contact them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't always do it the same, but I generally start with one way, either a text or a phone call.
Right.
And then I follow it up with an email. And then if it wasn't a text or a phone call, I go to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that, about twice over, a certain period of time. Because, when you get prospect, you really don't know.
Right, right.
And so I don't want to just text. I don't want to call. So I try to space it out a little bit and go around it, hopefully catch them.
So there's a difference between calling out and doing those things, but once you actually connect with somebody, are you asking them that question? What's
No.
your preference? Okay.
No.
So I ask, make that recommendation.
Probably a good idea. I think I just wait until it's apparent,
Right.
and then I follow suit.
Interesting. So that takes me back to the days of cold calling and things of that nature, and or door knocking, when you actually have spoken with somebody, feel free to, we hear this one, not now, maybe 6 months from now. And then a lot of us will leave that call or leave that door right there and didn't ask the next question. Well, what is your preference of communication? Would you like me to email you back in 6 months? Would you like me to call you back in 6 months? Would you like me to show up at your door in 6 months? What is your preference? And they'll tell you, no, just do this. And most of the time, just shoot me an email or, shoot me a phone call or whatever the case may be. And if they say that, then boom, don't wait 6 months. But now you have their preference.
Absolutely.
All right. What else?
That covers it pretty well.
All right. So are you guys communicating with anybody and everybody often enough and in the right ways? Would love to hear some feedback on that. Drop it in the comments. Like and a share.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, if you feel we're worthy, give us a like and a share. Thank you guys so much.